So here's the thing telling you that the electricity you're getting from here is 100% renewable. It's a 50 kilowatt charger. It has two types of plugs, well, three really. It's got a type 2, a CHAdeMO and a combo. But the trouble is, again, let me say that again, the trouble is, we were at 58% state of charge, 210 kilometers on the gasometer, and it started charging at 43, 44 kilowatts, and as soon as we got to 60%, it dropped right down to 23 kilowatts. So it's really only charging at about half the speed it should. Now, I think this may be something to do with the e-Niro protecting its battery or something. It's not cold, it's about 11, 12 degrees. So I don't know why it's charging so slowly, but I've had this before with these chargers, but it's a bit disappointing. So we're having to spend a little bit longer here than we thought. Still, we had some quiche to eat and some tea to drink, and to talk about really the realities of fostering a dog 400 kilometers from home that's huge and blind and didn't really want to go in the car. Lesson learned. Anyway, look what's over here. Place for charging electric bikes. Look. So there's the e-Niro and there's the electric bikes. Bonjour. So we'll start that again. Just had a French guy turn up wanting to talk to us about the electric car, which was great. Turns out he lived in the UK for a while, so we stumbled along in French. But look at this. These are charging places for bikes. I've never seen this before. And there's a panel here which tells you how to do it. Anyway, we're just about all ready to go again now, just coming up to 80%, and we'll be getting on our way. A horrendous day. But
just to show people that it's not always sunny in France.
yeah, just to show people that it's not always sunny. This is the south of France, the southwest of France. The motorways are superb. They're not very busy, as you can see, but my goodness, it's howling. The wind is just, and this takes quite a bit to shift this car. It's pretty heavy for its size, but with the battery all being low down and that, but taking its toll on the
17.1.
on the efficiency. Well, that's okay. 17.1. We've got 124 kilometers left to go until we plug in again on the Bordeaux Ring Road. And we've got, it says over there, 261 of range. Yeah, we'll see. Recharge easily your electric vehicle during your film. So here we are again, back at the gypsy encampment round, which is established around the back of the cinema, which has been closed since about March, I think, last March, so almost a year. We got here with 100 kilometers of range left, 28% battery, which is good because at least this is now charging at a decent speed. The last one, where we topped up to get down here, we had about 3 minutes at 43 kilowatts, and then it just dropped down to 22, 23, and obviously it slows right down. So we're about 190 kilometers from home on the Bordeaux Ring Road here. We're going to break curfew. It's supposed to be not out at all after 6 o'clock, but there's a form you can do on the on your mobile phone, and then you fill it in and they send it straight back to you. So if the police do stop you, you just hold it up to the window. So hopefully we won't get stopped. So yeah, it's about 20 to 5 now, and we've still got probably about 2 hours of driving, because the Bordeaux Ring Road, it's sort of coming out of work time, so it's going to be pretty busy. Yeah, so so because of all the aborted attempt at bringing the dog back, we ended up doing about another 60-70 kilometres on top of the 800 in the 2 days. So that's it. 2 days, lots of driving around,
Lots of chocolate eaten.
got lots of chocolate, and we did have a very good meal last night with our Dutch hosts, who had some interesting liqueurs. Say no more about that, but it was a sort of 2-day adventure to not get a dog
In very bad weather.
epically bad weather. Yeah, anyway, be here for about another
Well, you shouldn't have said what could possibly go wrong.
yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Possibly go wrong. I mean, got electric car. Actually, the electric car charging bit has been a challenge, and it was only really a challenge because the mid-level charger we plugged into last night, which seemed to be working okay, it wasn't giving 7.2 kilowatts. It dropped down to 5.5. But I left it with to go all the way to 100%. I set the car up to allow it to go to 100%. So we went to it in the morning after a night of fierce winds and howling around the building we were staying in. It was just awful. It was really, really noisy. And Mrs. e-Niro went to it this morning to find that it had only got to 66%. It stopped at some point, so don't know what went wrong there. And of course we needed more than that to get to this place, even if we had a successful first 20 kilometres with the dog, but the dog didn't want to come with us. He was very unhappy, and so lesson learned, I think, there. Anyway, so now up to 44%, 182 kilometre range. We arrived here at 100 range 15 minutes ago. So we're going to have to be here for about another 20-25 minutes, I would think, to make sure. So here we are a few days later. All the invoices for all the charging we did are in, so I've got all the stats. Thought I'd share that with you. So we did, in the 2 days, we did 861 kilometres, which is 533 miles. We plugged in 6 times at a cost of €47.74, and we purchased 111.3 kilowatt hours. Now, that is the most interesting thing, is the difference in prices. So the cheapest we paid per kilowatt hour was 29 euro cents, which isn't too bad. It's only about double what we pay at home when we're plugging in on a normal domestic supply. So that's the least we paid, 29 cents per kilowatt hour, and the most we paid was €1.08. Now, this is just crazy, and there's a reason for that. Now, when we stopped at the Total station on the way down, we were already at 77% charge. We didn't really need to stop, but we actually needed a biological break because there were no facilities at all around the back of the cinema at the rapid charger there. So, and we were interested because these Total chargers are supposed to be cropping up all over France now. the thing is, this one was only a 50 kilowatt charger, and I'm thinking, well, this is crazy because the gold standard now for rapid charging is 100 kilowatts. If you're putting one in, a new one, you just as well do at least 100 kilowatts, because most cars now can take up to that. I mean, the Niro can theoretically take 100. In practice, it's never more than about 75, 76. But, you know, the new Volkswagen range go up to 125. And, you know, we know that Teslas can take a lot more. I know they've got their own charging network, but they also do use these. And all the cars now are coming out with at least, you know, 100 kilowatt hours or over. So why put a 50 kilowatt charger in? But the real problem with this charger is it charges by the minute. And it charges 40 euro cents a minute. Now, because we were on a high state of charge, it started off at 42 kilowatts and immediately dropped back down to 22, 23. Okay, and it charged us €5.28. Okay, we were there 11 minutes. It charged us €5.28 for 4.88 kilowatt hours. So that means it's €1.08. Now, I've looked at this again and thought, well, what if I had charged there on the way back? I couldn't have done, because that charger is they've only got a charger on the southbound side. They haven't got one on the northbound side. But even if I had, it would have still cost me more money. And here's why. When we arrived back, we were for our return journey charge in behind the cinema, we were at 28% state of charge. Now, at 28% state of charge, I can go all the way up to at least 60%, taking the power at 43, 44 kilowatts on the e-Niro. At that speed, in 30 minutes, you're going to add 22, 23 kilowatt hours, which gives you an effective price of 54 euro cents a kilowatt hour, which is still pretty expensive, but it's not as expensive as Ionity here, who charge 79 euro cents per kilowatt hour. But then again, Ionity gives up to 350 kilowatts if your car can take it. Not many can. If you're lucky enough to own a Porsche, I think you can. But you see, you know, even at that in that situation, I was getting, back in the summer when we plugged in at an Ionity station here, I was getting 76, 77 kilowatts up to about 65, 70% state of charge. So Total, you've got it totally wrong there. It would be convenience, and I would try to time it so that I was at a fairly low state of charge to get my money's worth out of those charges if I had to use them again. But so the real thing is, yeah, charge by the minute or whatever if you have to, but give us a 100 kilowatt charger. I mean, what's all this messing about with 50? Anyway, funny enough, all the rapid chargers were made by EVBox, so they're all the same. Okay, the other thing that was quite cheap, the absolute cheapest, actually, I've told you that slightly wrong. The absolute cheapest was the mid-level charger we plugged in overnight. I left it to go up to 100%. We got there in the morning, and the charger had shut itself down at 66%, but it hadn't charged us for the occupancy, which it was supposed to charge us at 2.7 cents a minute, so about 160 an hour just to be there. Well, they didn't do that. The session shut down at about 11 o'clock at night, and it only charged us €7 for 26.5 kilowatt hours. So that was cheap. So that works out 26 euro cents a kilowatt hour. But again, you know, it didn't do exactly what we wanted it to do. So anyway, that was the stats. So if you look at all the charging we did and how much money we spent, the average was 42 euro cents per kilowatt hour. Say we arrived home with 100 kilometers still on the gasometer. But, you know, we were thinking, what would it have been if we'd have done that journey in the old Prius or in a diesel car? Well, let's say we'd have got 50 miles to the gallon, say it was really strong winds and rain, at an average price here in France, which at the moment petrol's about 140 something and diesel's about 128 or something. So let's, for argument's sake, call it 130. we would have spent 63 euros and something on fossil fuels. So it was still 15 euros 50 cheaper with the electric car. But anyway, it was an interesting experience to be out and about. Say no one's going very far these days. We kind of did it for a bit of an adventure to a part of France we'd never been to before, but we didn't see much of it. The place we went to, apparently in clear weather, is absolutely stunning in the winter because you've got the Pyrenees with the snow on in the background and these villages down there, very pretty. But it was just low cloud, howling winds, driving rain. That's all we got, and no dog, of course. Anyway, thank you for watching. Really appreciate the subscribers I've had in the last few videos and the comments. Keep them coming, please. Constant learning experience. Take care. See you again.